Hey guys, how are you? Mike G here from the Wellness Bucket. Thank you so much for joining me for another Motivational Monday message. Always a pleasure to connect with you guys, and I'm happy you're here. So let's go ahead and dive into this week's message. And this week's message is about taking yourself from last place and putting yourself in first place. Well, what the hell does that even mean? Well, a lot of the conversations I've been having lately with friends, more specifically my clients, my wellness coaching clients, is the fact that, the time that they're always last. It's like, if I have time for myself to exercise, to eat right, to prep my food, then I'll do it. But there's so much more stuff I got to do. And it's almost like saying, hey, if I have time to fit myself into my own schedule, I'll do it. And that's kind of odd, right? So think about yourselves, and perhaps, do you find yourself doing that? Like fitting yourself in wherever you can. Your own health, your own happiness, fitting that in when it makes sense. That statement alone doesn't make sense, right? So how do we take you out of last place, thinking that, you have to do everything else for everyone else, for your career, your bills, your kids, your spouse, whatever. How do we take you from being in last place, where it's when you finally take care of yourself, to first place? And that's what we're going to talk about here today. And there's 3 ways I suggest doing that, all right? 3 ways to take yourself from last and putting yourself first. Not in a selfish, greedy, thinking of yourself kind of way, but more so, you have to take care of you first, because if you don't, no one else will. It's as simple as that. So, number 1, how do you put yourself in first place? Number 1 is change your mindset. Change your thought that you have to take care of everything and everyone else first. Somewhere along the lines, whether it was as a kid, in your career, whatever it may be, that something came over you that you thought, everything else has to be done first, and then if I get to it, then I take care of me. Bull crap. No. Put you first. And what I mean by that is, when we don't, we think we're helping everything around us, but really, if we are not at our best, everything around us isn't at its best. Everything around us suffers because we are not at our best, and we suffer. So what we think we're doing is a good thing. It's not a good thing for us. It's not a good thing for anything around us. So number 1, change your mindset that you'll get everything done and then you'll take care of you. Take care of you first, and then everything around you will be better. I assure you. It might be weird to begin with when you start doing that, but it'll work wonders. Try it. Change your mindset. Everything will get better around you when you get better. That's number 1. Number 2 is just say no. And we're not talking about drugs here, although just say no to that as well, but just say no whenever you're asked to do favors or one thing over here or meet someone over here. It's like, if you can do it, great, but let it not be at your expense. Let it not be at your expense. So just say no to things that are thrown at you, and hey, I need help, and we need you over here, and can you pick up this? And if you can do it, great, but again, not at the expense of either the time that you had set for yourself, times you had set to either read or to exercise, or whatever it may be, whatever time you had scheduled for you, we say no to anything that's going to disrupt that. Simple as that. So just say no to things that are taken away from the time you spend with you. And that brings us to our 3rd one, which is scheduling you. So schedule you time, as I call it. So, we schedule everything else, right? We schedule our appointments, we schedule our haircut appointment, we schedule our kids' meetings, we schedule everything, conference calls, but we don't schedule our own time. And I don't know why we wouldn't, because again, at the end of the day, we are a priority as well. So schedule you time. So hopefully it's working out, but that should definitely be scheduled. But schedule you time. If it's working out, if it's meditating, if it's just going for a walk, if it's riding your horse, whatever it is, schedule you time. And I literally mean putting it in your schedule, crossing it off. 7 to 8, I'm doing this for me. 9 to 10, I'm doing this for me. Schedule it. It's important. It's a priority. It's important. It must be done. There's no if I get it in, if I can fit it in. No more fitting it in, right? Schedule you time. So those are the 3 ways, guys, to take yourself from last, okay, and putting yourself first. 1, change your mindset that, everything else comes first. It doesn't. You come first. And when you do that, everything around you gets better. Number 2, just say no to things that get thrown at you and put on your plate that you feel overwhelmed, and then you don't have any you time. So that's number 2, just say no. It might be uncomfortable for people at first, but they'll adjust to your new way of being. And they'll be grateful when you're feeling your best. And then they're feeling their best, okay? So that's number 2. And number 3, lastly, is schedule you time, all right? put it physically in your schedule. Schedule you time. That's this week's message, guys. I hope it helps. I hope it takes you. If you feel like you've been like taking care of everyone else and not you, and you feel like you're in last place and fitting yourself in to your own schedule when you can, hopefully this helps to change that. All right. Have a phenomenal week ahead, guys. Thank you for being here. If I can help you in any way, reach out to me. It's Mike at thewellnessbucket.com. Until next Monday. Cheers.